Assalamu alaikum and good evening. You are watching HumSub.TV and I am Munib Hamid with the news. Contempt of court, Senator Nehal Hashmi barred from holding public office for 5 years. Supreme Court on Thursday sentenced Senator Nehal Hashmi to 1 month imprisonment and barred him from holding public office for the next 5 years as it announced its verdict in the contempt of court case against the former PMLN stalwart. A 3-member bench of the Apex Court headed by Justice Asif Saeed Khosa and comprising Justice Makbul Bakar and Justice Dost Muhammad also imposed a fine of Rs 50,000 on the senator. Further, the bench dismissed an unconditional apology which Hashmi had submitted to the court on January 24th for his threatening video message against those investigating former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif and his family. As the verdict was announced, Hashmi was taken into custody by police from the courtroom. Testimony of Panama Papers JIT head in Dar's trial postponed until February 8. This testimony of a star witness in the trial of former Finance Minister Ishaq Dar, Joint Investigation Team head Wajid Jah, will not be recorded before February 8 as the National Accountability Bureau asked the Accountability Court on Wednesday to requisition the relevant material from the Supreme Court before recording Mr. Zia's statement. NAB prosecutor Imran Shafiq filed an application before Accountability Judge Muhammad Bashir, stating that 26 out of 30 witnesses have already recorded their statements in the NAB reference against Mr. Dar and the head of the JIT constituted by the Supreme Court to investigate former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif and his family would be the prosecution's next witness. The application was filed to procure files which contain around 6,000 pages from the Supreme Court and apparently delayed Mr. Zia's testimony, as the trial court would otherwise have recorded his statement this week. Witness pick out 3 policemen involved in Naqib's murder. 2 witnesses picked out on Wednesday 3 policemen during an identification parade before a judicial magistrate in the Naqibullah Masood murder case. 6 police officials, Sub-Inspector Muhammad Yasin, Assistant Sub-Inspectors Supurd Hussain and Ahla Yar, Head Constables Khizr Hayat and Muhammad Iqbal and Constable Arshad Ali have been detained for their involvement in the abduction and killing of the 24-year-old Naqib in an alleged staged encounter on January 13 in Shah Latif town. The investigating officer, SSP Abid Ali Qaim Khani, produced ASI Al-Ahyar, Head Constable Iqbal and Constable Arshad before a judicial magistrate for identification parade, while 2 witnesses who were kidnapped along with Naqib also turned up to identify the suspects. NAB says not against Safe City Project Karachi. National Accountability Bureau is not responsible for delaying Safe City Project Karachi, said a statement issued by the corruption watchdog on Wednesday. Rather, the anti-graft body had detected discrepancies in the process of awarding contract of installing security cameras and raised objections over it. According to the statement, NAB Chairman Justice Retired Javed Iqbal sought report from NAB Karachi regarding alleged media report of objections of NAB on Karachi Safe City Project installing cameras in Karachi City and no reply of a letter written by Sindh Information Technology Department or to NAB in 2015. Public opinion in Europe tittling against Israel, says German Foreign Minister. German Foreign Minister criticized Israel's approach to the conflict with Palestinians during a visit on Wednesday, making it clear that Tel Aviv's actions were steadily swaying public opinion against it in Europe. These, at the best, mixed signals do not go unnoticed in Europe, where there is clearly growing frustration with Israel's actions, Sigmar Gabriel said in a speech at a conference of the Institute for National Security Studies think tank. Also in Germany and frankly inside my own party, young people, the young generation feel increasingly less inclined to accept what they deem unfair treatment of the Palestinians, and it's increasingly difficult for people like me to explain to them the reasons why our support for Israel must persist. As a friend and close ally, we need to know if Israel is not supporting a negotiated solution to this conflict anymore. Gabriel also met Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas in the West Bank town of Ramallah on Wednesday. The United Nations holds back blacklist of companies with links to Israeli settlements. The UN Human Rights Commissioner decided to indefinitely postpone the publication of a blacklist of Israeli and international companies operating in the occupied territories, Israeli newspaper Arutz Sheva reported on Wednesday. The campaign for shelving the report was led jointly by the U.S. Ambassador to the UN, Nikki Haley, and Israeli Ambassador Danny Danon. The postponement of publication of the list comes after heavy pressure exerted by the U.S. and Israel on the commissioner with the assistance of diplomats from their other countries. However, a document issued on Wednesday by the commissioner Zaid bin Rad Zaid Al Hussein mentioned that 206 Israeli and international companies operating in the country and the occupied Israeli territories or in contact with businesses operating in the area had been identified. Number of victims of United States sex abuse doctor grows to 265. The number of identified sexual abuse victims of former USA gymnastics doctor Larry Nassar has grown to 265. A Michigan judge announced Wednesday as the final sentencing hearing commenced. Prosecutors said at least 65 victims were to confront Nassar in court in the last of the 3 sentencing hearings for the disgraced doctor who molested young girls and women for 2 decades in the guise of medical treatment. We have over 265 identified victims and an infinite number of victims in the state, in the country, and all over the world, Judge Janice Cunningham said. As a result, by allowing live streaming and tweeting, all individuals are able to participate in the process. May eyes golden era with China. Prime Minister Theresa May. Prime Minister Theresa May on Wednesday forecast a golden era in the Sino-British relations with deeper trade ties after Britain leaves the European Union, but her visit to China was dodged by Brexit woes at home. As she embarked on the 3-day visit, May battled with critics of her leadership on Brexit and domestic issues, including within her Conservative Party. First and foremost, I'm serving my country and my party. I'm not a quitter, and there's a long-term job to be done, she told reporters traveling with her. The House of Lords is scrutinizing a key piece of legislation on quitting the EU, as a leaked government report shows only economic downsides to leaving the bloc. Petrol bomb thrown at Suu Kyi's lakeside villa, Myanmar government. A petrol bomb was thrown at the lakeside Yangon compound of Myanmar's leader Aung San Suu Kyi on Thursday while she was away from her home, a government spokesman said on Thursday. The petrol bomb caused minor damage, but the attack on the villa, where Suu Kyi was held for long years of house arrest by former junta, is hugely symbolic. Suu Kyi has increasingly attracted the ire of the international community over her perceived failure to speak up on behalf of Myanmar's Rohingya Muslim community. Nearly 700,000 Rohingya have fled a brutal military crackdown in northern Rakhine, stayed in refugee camps in Bangladesh since August, bringing with them testimony of murder, rape, and arson. Angelina Jolie is joining hands with NATO to combat sexual violence. Movie star Angelina Jolie says she and NATO's chief have agreed on ways to help the military alliance better combat the use of sexual violence against women and children in conflict zones. Jolie said Wednesday that wherever sexual violence occurs, peace is far harder and far more costly to achieve. It therefore has a direct bearing on NATO's efforts to protect stability. Speaking after a meeting with NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg in Brussels, she said, "We are going to focus on training, reporting, monitoring and awareness as a way of ending impunity." And now the sports news. Grass courts best of 3 format give Pakistan edge over South Korea, says Esamul Haq Qureshi. Expressing his surprise over the decision of Pakistan Tennis Federation to not include a 5th player in the Pakistan Davis Cup team for the tie against South Korea, ace player Esamul Haq Qureshi on Wednesday said that the national team would play aggressive game against the opposition in the 2-day contest. The Davis Cup Asia-Oceania Zone Group 1 tie between host Pakistan and South Korea will commence here at the grass courts of Pakistan Sports Complex from Friday. Addressing a pre-tournament press conference, Assam not playing captain Hamid ul Haq and other team members including Akil Khan, Abid Ali Akbar and Muzammil Murtaza said they have done a lot of hard work for the South Korea clash and would do their best to win it. And now the weather updates for the next 24 hours. Mainly cold and dry weather is expected in most parts of the country. However, light rain with snowfall over the hills is expected at a few places in Malakand Division and Gilgit-Baltistan. That's all for now. For more news and updates, keep watching HumSub TV. Take care.
Please subscribe to HumSub.TV and hit the notification icon on the screen to get the latest updates of our channel. Thank you for watching HumSub.TV.